Hello, welcome to Technically Analytics. In this episode, we're going to discuss the trade that occurred between the Atlanta Braves and the Boston Red Sox. The Red Sox traded starting pitcher Chris Sale for Braves outfielder Vaughn Grissom. I believe it was a straight up trade. So if you don't know, Chris Sale has been in the league for a while. He has 13 years service time. He's a left-handed pitcher. He's 34 years old, and he's one of the best left-handed pitchers to pitch in MLB for some time. He did peak a few years ago, though. In recent years, he's been injured a lot, and we'll get into that. Now, as you can see, his contract status for right now, he signed to a 5-year, $145 million deal with a vesting option in 25, and he still has another year left. So the Braves are basically getting like a 2-year-ish deal, see if he works out. But let's look deeper into his stats and see how good this guy really was or can be. So at first glance, you can see the gold, which indicates Hall of Fame levels, and the bold means like league leading on his stats. So when you're looking at his stats, especially if you look at like 2012 to about 2016-ish, 17, like he was lights out. This guy was one of the best pitchers in the league. He played for the White Sox for a while. That was his peak of his career, and with the Red Sox too a little bit. But as you can see on the one side on the awards, he has Cy Young votes in almost every season that he pitched well, MVP votes, and he's a big strikeout guy, big time strikeout guy. So 10 strikeouts per nine, 11, 9.3, 12. In career, he has an 11.1 strikeout per nine, which is Hall of Fame level. And you can see even his whip is good. Like he doesn't allow base runners, which is what whip basically means. He doesn't allow many hits because his FIP is good, and his hits per nine are also good. Doesn't walk anybody really. I mean, very few walks. He doesn't miss basically. He doesn't miss the zone. And his strikeouts are very, very high. Like he only strikes guys out. That's what this guy does. He's really good at it. And the problem is why it's kind of a risky trade and worth talking about, is because Chris Sale hasn't really been himself for the past few years since he got injured in 2019, I believe. And then he didn't play the COVID season. And then since then, he's kind of been mid-ish. Like he hasn't really been himself. And when you look deeper at his ratios, you can see that when he was at his peak, he was doing 20, 24, 26, 30% strikeout, 32, 25, 36, 38. I mean, his strikeout ratio is huge compared to his walk ratio and his homer ratio. So these are really good numbers, especially in his prime years. And that kind of shows you. And also, his batting average against very low, under 300. His on-base percentage, under 300. And then his slugging percentage in the 300s as well, which is amazing. This guy's been lights out. And obviously, he hasn't had the past few years from 21 to this past season. He hasn't been himself since he got injured, basically. And I think he was injured like 2 or 3 times. I didn't see that information, but yeah, he's been injured 2 or 3 times since one of his best seasons in 2017. So in the Braves lineup, this is how it looks now. They have Strider, Fried, Morton, Sale, Elder, and I think Sale's a nice addition if he can be himself. His pre-2018 self, he's gonna be great. Like this guy is gonna be another good addition for the Braves, and it's a low risk, high reward thing. Like they're only paying him for 2 years. If he pitches great, then it looks like a genius move. If he pitches bad, then it kind of looks like, okay, well, it was worth a try, right? So we got to look at what the Braves gave up though, because they did give up Vaughn Grissom, and Vaughn Grissom is a second baseman and shortstop, right-handed batter. And he's only been in the league for less than a year, or he's only played about 60 games ish, about that. And He was one of those guys the Braves found, and they brought him up early. And he's one of the ones that actually didn't work out so well, because when you look at his stats, you can see he only played 41 games in 2022, did 291 batting average, 353 on base, 440 slugging, 792 OPS, 119 OPS plus. Which, that's respectable. It's just a little bit above average. Like he's not great, but he's not below average. And then this past year, 2023, only 23 games. He did a 280, 313, 347, 659, 78 OPS plus, which is below average. 100 is average. So, and I'm not sure why the Braves sent him down. I guess he struggled a bit because you could tell, it's not that far off of where he was before, but I guess they didn't see enough improvement in his game, I guess. But he needed more games, in my opinion. I think they should have played him a bit more, but they also had the crowded positioning in that area. Like they had Orlando Arcia, who actually came into play, and he played really well, and Ozzy Albies obviously played really well, so he was kind of the odd man out because Arcia played better than him. I guess I think that's what really happened. Let me know, Braves fans, if that's what really happened. But to be fair, when you look at his minor leagues, because that's where he got sat down to when he was not playing in the majors, he was in AAA in Atlanta, and he had a great season in AAA. Granted, it's it's not MLB pitching, and it's less competition, but he did a 330 batting average, 419 on base, 501 slugging, 921 OPS. So it's not bad. He had 8 home runs, 61 RBIs. His strikeouts weren't crazy high. And when you look at all his stats across his whole career, he hasn't had a crazy high strikeout season pretty much ever. So I don't know what the Braves clearly didn't like his progress, so they traded him for Sale, who's going to be great for their rotation. But Grissom, on the other hand, on the Red Sox, who haven't made too many moves, but this is probably the biggest move they made besides O'Neill and Lucas Giolito, who we'll talk about in a little bit. But Vaughn Grissom slots in the lineup at second base. I think he's going to be a good addition. I don't know if he's really going to bat eighth. I feel like they'll probably start him there, and he might move up a little bit. Their lineup is interesting. I'll say that they don't really have a true power hitter. I would say like Trevor Story, Devers, and O'Neill has power, but it's not crazy. So I'm curious. I see Grissom as more of like a leadoff guy or a 6-man guy. Like I would switch O'Neill and Grissom probably if I was them, or put them definitely not. Maybe where Devers is even, or maybe even leadoff, because I feel like he's that kind of guy. He has the speed, and he could do some damage. I'm hoping that he's gonna be a good fill-in for them at second base, because they need him to be. They need someone that's gonna be healthy, but also like someone that can get on base, hit the ball well, and I think Grissom can do that. Now, I just mentioned Lucas Giolito because the Red Sox did trade away Sale, who was a starter for them, and he did pitch last year. But Giolito, who has kind of been on a roller coaster ride the past few seasons, he got traded to the Angels, and then he got released, and then the Guardians picked him up at the end of the season last year, and now he's here with Boston as a free agent. He signed, I think, a 1-year deal or something like that. Yeah, 1-year deal, and then so he's here with Boston. This is their starting rotation, which pretty much the same from last year, minus Sale now. And if Giolito can pitch like he used to do when he was with the White Sox in 2018-19, I think he could be a great addition. You see he's a right-handed pitcher. He's a big guy, 6'6", 6 years of experience. So when you go to his career stats, you can see that his best seasons were primarily in 2019, 2020, 2018. He really found it. Had a great season, especially 2019, 2020. Up until just 2022, basically, he was a good pitcher. Had some Cy Young votes. So I really like what Giolito can bring. Again, he's another one of those high strikeout guys. You can see when he's on his game, he has 11.6 strikeouts per nine, 12 strikeouts per nine, 10 strikeouts per nine. And then also but recently he has struggled since he's been moving around a lot, which is unfortunate for him. But I think if he can get it back on track, that's going to really help his game out a lot. So I'll be curious to see how he can help the Red Sox and what other moves Red Sox need to make, because they're going to need to improve their lineup further. They're going to need like a power hitter, and they're probably going to need a few other pieces. And as for the Braves, if Sale works out for them, that's going to look like a genius trade. So thanks for watching, and tune in next time for another baseball video.